what most dentists don't want you to know. Flossing, massaging, brushing, toothbrush types, toothpaste tips. All right, this is very, very practical, and parents of young children too, you really want to get them off on the right foot. And for adults, we can implement this if we're not aware of some of these tips. I first want to thank a couple of dentists in different parts of the world who did share some good tips with me, but I almost had to glean it off of them. Most of them just said nothing, just gave the care, charged you, you come back for your next visit. You know what I'm talking about. All right. I believe these tips really need to be taken up at home. In school we don't hear about it. At home we just get encouraged to brush our teeth. So, first, floss. We all know what flossing is. The piece of dental floss, a string, and you go between the teeth, bottom. I would suggest bottom first and up. We'll talk about that why. So you floss first before brushing to get the difficult to remove food particles out that are stuck between the teeth. You may choose or use the kind of floss you prefer. That's a personal preference. I suggest slightly waxy because that'll help it to slide easier between the teeth. Slightly waxy. You can get cheaper unwaxed floss, but if that slips down, suddenly you can cut your gums and cause unnecessary bleeding. So waxed costs a little more. It's definitely worth it instead of running up bigger dentist bills. Not to mention the physical pain of injections and drilling and those horrible things. Now, after effectively flossing bottom and then up between the teeth, gargle just with water at the sink to rinse out dislodged particles of food, which is important before we start to brush our teeth. Now, question, what type of toothbrush should I use? Now, if you're using an electronic toothbrush, they generally come standard. You don't think about hard, medium, or soft bristles. Ideally, now this is something that every dentist I've spoken to has said the same thing. Ideally, soft bristles is fine. The issue or question of how and where we are brushing is what is extremely important. Now, hard bristles can damage your gums and sometimes cause bleeding. I know, I'm talking from experience. I thought I was being heroic and doing myself a favor, but by using these hard bristles and scrubbing really hard, my teeth would shine extra white. But it was not the case, as I learned later the hard way. So brushing harder is not brushing better. It's how and where we brush. So now when we come to the actual brushing, how then? Not really hard, but focus on the right places. Don't emphasize the outer enamel surface. This is not what we want to emphasize. As a kid, I learned as hard as possible, thinking these will shine and everyone will say my teeth look pearly white and you've got a lovely smile. Wrong focus. Keep listening, my friend. It's not about impressing others. That's secondary or just a byproduct to what's really important. So where is it that the tartar mainly builds up? Between the teeth and the gums. Between the teeth and the gums. See? I hope the kids can see that. Where my nail is running. Not at the outer bottom part here, but right up where the teeth meets the gums. That's where the tartar builds up. And that's where most of the food particles collect. And that's where meat or stringy vegetables get stuck. So usually flossing will get those particles out, but the tinier particles now. Make sure, like we said, the toothbrush, if it's a regular toothbrush, if you have an electric toothbrush, it's standard, that the bristles are soft. This is a nice green and white toothbrush. Interesting. Make sure the bristles are soft. All right? Now, after the flossing and the rinsing, we put the toothpaste. But where do we start? Do you know, many times when we start from the outside, and guess what happens? We see the toothpaste going floating down the sink. Sometimes we have to apply the toothpaste a second time onto the brush. You will never have to lose your toothpaste. Keep listening. This is not a toothpaste saving technique. It's the proper brushing technique. Incidentally, you will save your toothpaste, all right? So you don't need to have the toothpaste blob all over the length of the bristles. Just a blob is enough. Now, when you open, start on the bottom side of your teeth, the lower jaw. Why? Question. When we eat, where do we chew the food? Is it chewed outside the teeth or inside the teeth? Inside. So where's most of the food particles going to get stuck? Or not outside, but inside. So don't start brushing outside thinking it's got to look pretty and white and pearly white. Start on the inside with the soft bristles between the gums and the bottom of your teeth. Between the gums and the bottom of your teeth. Once you've done the lower jaw, then you go to the upper jaw. Don't worry about the outside. We'll do that last. L-A-S-T, last. Then you go to the upper row, and again between the gums and the teeth. Between the base of the teeth and the start of the gums. Do those on an angular motion to tease out the particles that are stuck in your teeth. So that's how we start. Inside the mouth, bottom jaw first, at an angle between the base of the teeth and the gums, then upper jaw, inside, angle between the base of the teeth and the gums. Then we come to the outside. Again at an angle. By now the toothpaste is not going to float away. It's already become a good lather. You with me? You'll never lose your toothpaste again. Now at an angle between the teeth and the gums on the lower jaw. And then angle between the teeth and the gums on the upper jaw. So that's where we begin. After that, go back to the inside. The inside is more important. Now that we've done an angle between the teeth and the gums, lower inside, upper inside, and then lower outside, upper outside. Now you go back to the inside and you brush in a vertical horizontal manner, not side by side, but up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Likewise on the top, up and down, up and down, up and down. Then you come back finally to the front of your teeth, the part we used to do first all along. Look how low down this is on the ladder, on the totem pole. Now you go up and down, not side to side. Ideally up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. And lastly, you're not yet done brushing, the surface of your teeth. The surface of your teeth. Bottom and top. And by the way, it's good to teach the kids at home. We have the incisors and then the canines and then premolars and then molars. Incisors, canines, which are like the dog, pointed teeth, the premolars and then the molars. So that's a little bit of how to brush and in what sequence. It is so important. All right. Let's correct some of the errors we've been practicing and even teaching our children wrong. Or maybe we've been doing it wrong and by default just told the kids, put some toothpaste on and just squish it around. No, that's not the way, my friend. So once you're done brushing your teeth, then you rinse or gargle using a mouthwash, and it'll leave you with that nice tingly feeling. I'll touch on that later. Make sure when you're done, your brush is hung up in a place where it's airy and dry so that next time you go to brush, the bristles are bone dry. You know what I do when I'm in tropical warm countries and climates as a missionary? I have a plastic tubular container and I put it in that so no bugs or ants or little cockroaches can ever come near my toothbrush at night. I know that grows some of you out, but if you ever go on a mission trip, think of having a plastic tube to put your brush in once you're done brushing. All right, here's a great tactic to use to employ all parents of young children. If you start out young, and this is even going to scare you as an adult, if you've been remiss or skipping out on brushing your teeth, especially at night before you go to bed, just tell your children, now you know what, kids, during the day we eat so much of food, and then sadly sometimes it's the parents' fault. We indulge them with candy and sweet stuff. Tell them, over the day, tiny little bugs called bacteria collect in the mouth. I mean, inside the mouth, much more than outside. This could be rinsed off, but inside the mouth. And if you go to bed at night without brushing your teeth, those little cooties, those little bugs, those bacteria, which you've now not brushed away, they are in your mouth overnight, and guess what? They even go to the bathroom in your mouth at night. Ew! They go to the bathroom in your mouth at night. How important it is you need to brush your teeth properly and then rinse with a mouthwash before you go to bed. By the way, if we all ate like Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden before the fall, which was fresh fruit and vegetables, we would never need a dentist or even a doctor for that matter. Just thought I'd throw that in there. As a scripture, Philippians 4:5 tells us, let your moderation be known unto all men. Philippians 4:5. Now we know from experience that too much of a thing is good for nothing. We as parents are responsible for indulging our children with too many sweets or candy. So try and avoid excess sugars and sugary or sugar-coated stuff. Even as adults, some of us just love our chocolate. I'm not saying you can't have any, but then we can end up paying the price with the rotten teeth, cavities, and even, sadly, often diabetes. Only then, when we're losing our teeth after undergoing several visits to the dentist office or receiving a bad diagnosis from the doctor, do we realize we need to take drastic steps to change our dietary and hygiene habits. By the way, try and avoid bones, anything that's hard. I remember as a younger man thinking I was so heroic I could crunch the toughest sinew, almost bone. And how? It was folly on my part. Nobody taught me or shared with me these practical things. And there are some nuts that can be really, really hard. So be careful. By the way, vegans and vegetarians won't have any of these issues. Our teeth are not as tough as the canines. I'm referring to the dog family. It's just not worth trying to play Mr. Macho Man now, or we will pay the price in the long run. I talked about seeds that are hard. For me, I found this out again the hard way. Guava, a tropical fruit. Tiny seeds in there can be very hard, and they can even crack or cause chips to come off of your molar or premolars. Guava seeds. They're small enough, I suggest you spit them out, or you can swallow them. Enjoy the fruit. Don't try to prove I'm so tough I'll crack these guava seeds at the expense of our teeth. No. All right. And I believe that's why those seeds, though they're very tough, they're so tiny, so it doesn't matter if you swallow them. No problem at all. It'll just pass through your system. If you must eat meat, try and ensure it's cooked tender. You're not only helping your teeth, you'll also enjoy the meat better as well, while at the same time helping your digestive system. Quick point about toothpicks. Toothpicks are not a good idea, especially after a meal at restaurants. They might bring a little instant relief by getting that piece of meat that's stuck from between your teeth, but they can both cause and increase cavities or gaps between the teeth. So how to get relief then? You could carry a pocket-sized travel version of dental floss in your pocket, or if you're a lady, up in your purse. Take that with you, rush to the restroom, quickly floss that spot, and then come on back out. What relief, and you won't be hurting your teeth at all or enlarging cavities by using a toothpick. Here's something about, some people use a tongue cleaner. It's a V-shaped or a little U-shaped metal piece with two plastic handles. They scrape the top of the tongue. It's not something I've practiced a lot. Some dentists do recommend it. We talked about mouthwash. Listerine is a household name to rinse when you're done flossing, rinsing, brushing, and goggling. Then you end with mouthwash to have that tingly feel, and it'll insulate you from any bacteria attacking, certainly overnight. You could even use hydrogen peroxide. A little bottle is just like $1. Hydrogen peroxide acts as an effective mouthwash. I have seen there's a tree called the neem tree, Neem, neem tree. I've seen a male servant of ours pluck off a green twig, splay the ends and brush it. That is as healthy, hygienic, and organic as you can get. There's a saying, ignore your teeth and they'll go away. Ignore your teeth and they'll go away. Someone else said, be true to your teeth or they'll be false to you. Be true to your teeth or they'll be false to you. I want to close with one more pointer which I find very effective, and that's a gum massage. Gum massage. Every so often, at least like once a week or twice a week, do this. I recommend in the shower especially. Anyway you're doing your face and stuff, it's nice and warm and soft and tender. You get to the gums, from the top of the gums, squeeze what pressure you can handle down to the teeth. It's like you're squeezing out, if there are any particles stuck in there, you're gently squeezing them down. Plus you're increasing the blood circulation from the gums down to the roots to your teeth. Squeeze. Thumb on the inside, finger on the outside. Same with the bottom. Same with the bottom. Thumb on the inside, or here, whichever way works for you. But from the bottom up. For the upper, it's from the top down. Bottom up for the lower jaw, top down for the upper jaw. It's a gum massage, and it'll make your jaws, you'll feel a tingling, healthy sensation as you've increased the blood flow and therefore the health of your teeth. Well, this was very, very practical, maybe not what you were expecting, but if you were blessed and challenged by this, would you subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, like, share, and comment below. Thank you, and God bless you.